Your boy, Michael. Let's just end with this. After years of evading, postponing, and disrespecting the courts, Rudy Giuliani has finally settled his financial obligations to two Black Georgia election workers. Giuliani falsely accused Ruby Freeman and Shaye Moss of tampering with votes during the 2020 election. His reckless claims damaged their reputations and endangered their safety by promoting falsehoods about the election. Despite his attempts to delay the legal process, such as declaring bankruptcy, ignoring court orders, and missing deadlines, a jury ultimately issued a $148 million defamation judgment against him. He has been held in contempt of court twice for his actions. Records confirm that Giuliani has fully fulfilled his obligations to Freeman and Moss, but court documents do not specify the amount he paid or the details of the agreement he reached. Is this justice for these two Black women, Raven? How do you see it?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is absolutely a win. And I think Black women are always the easiest target in this country, right? There's a reason that Malcolm X said that Black women are the most disrespected people in this country. That's not just something he said for the sake of it. It's because it's a truism. And I think it's a beautiful thing when we see poetic justice, if you will, for Black women. But I don't know if that rectifies necessarily the harm, but certainly it's a move towards that. And I think in general, too, you know, as it pertains to this situation, anyone who has undergirded and supported the big lie deserves to be held accountable. That is my fervent belief. Opting into the big lie is fundamentally undemocratic, and one cannot claim to love this country, to want to repair this country, or to love its constituents if they stand behind it.
Michael?
Yeah, this is good for Ruby Freeman and Shaye Moss. No, they can't get their lives back, but yeah, they need to get as much as they can from Rudy Giuliani, who spread lies about them. And this is one way to hit these MAGA nuts back with these lawsuits, especially suing based upon the Ku Klux Klan Act of 1871, which is still on the books. And we know that there were lawsuits filed against Rudy Giuliani and others in Donald Trump's civil lawsuits. Benny Thompson, Representative Benny Thompson from Mississippi, was involved in one of those. And that deals with when you have elected officials, people interfering with their official duty, inflicting violence upon them, threats, things like that. That's a Reconstruction era law that's still on the books, the Ku Klux Klan Act of 1871.
Matt.
I have nothing constructive to say besides this is one robbery I wouldn't prosecute. I like that they ran up on him and ran them pockets, shake him down. You know, you don't get to lie brazenly and flout the court and not have to pay. I am like Michael, or I think maybe Raven said, I'm not sure what the actual settlement was. I think that's really less important than the fact that these two sisters got justice, and that it's somebody as just, you know, ridiculous as Rudy Giuliani and all the games that he played. So I'm glad they ran his pockets, and I'm glad that there's a measure of public justice, because to Raven's point, you know, we see Black women disrespected all the time, brazenly, and the wins need to be amplified, right? It needs to be clear. You don't get to be a public figure where you absolutely just, you know, horribly affect someone's life like this, death threats and the things that happen, right? And then you're actually found guilty, or not guilty rather, but you're found liable by a jury and required to pay. I mean, that needs to happen, especially in an era where we see an erosion in the belief of the courts by the president himself. So I think this is a good thing to show that there's still some effect to these Article 3 courts, and that 12 people in the box can do the right thing. So I'm glad that they had this outcome.
Yeah, there have been so many things that have enraged me, like all of us, you know, throughout this whole process. But this particular case of what they did to these two Black women is pretty much close to tops of the list as it relates to the most egregious and the most problematic for me. So it's really good to see that they're getting some form of justice in a way that benefits them.
Support the work that we do. Join our Bring the Funk fan club. You heard what we just talked about there. Folks, I can't reiterate this enough. Listen to me clearly. I cannot reiterate this enough. When you've got technology companies running scared, when you've got legacy media not doing their job, when you've got Black-owned media that is disintegrated, now is more than ever for us to have independent media that cares about the truth, that is willing to say what needs to be said. So when you support Roland Martin Unfiltered, this show, when you support the Black Star Network, you're not just supporting me, you're supporting the other shows. Our goal is to add 2 more shows this year. We want additional shows. We want more weekly and daily shows because we want to be able to speak truth to power. We want to be able to say what is necessary where other people are scared. And when you are scared, when you're looking over your shoulder, oh my God, that advertising contract is not going to come in. Well, guess what? A lot of these major ad agencies, they're not even supporting us anyway. You know, in 6 years of doing this show, Group M hasn't done a damn thing with us. Publicis hasn't done anything with us. You've got Horizon, you've got all of these folks, they haven't done jack. And so we are calling it like we see it, and we're speaking truth. And unlike some of these other so-called progressives and people who believe in truth, I'm not running around trying to kiss MAGA ass and kiss Trump's ass. I won't be going to Mar-a-Lago, not for a damn thing. And so this is about us being able to speak truth. So when you support this show and this network with your resources, that is exactly what is happening, because we are trying to build something that is bigger and broader, and actually it has the courage to say what needs to be said, even when it makes other folk uncomfortable. If you want to contribute giving Cash App, use the Stripe QR code. This is it right here. And if you are listening, simply go to blackstarnetwork.com to check it out. Also, if you want to see your check and money order, some of y'all old school, we understand that. See your check and money order to P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 2003 7-0196. PayPal, R. Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle, Roland at RolandSMartin.com. Roland at RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. And again, folks, we've got some 4 million social media followers. If only 20,000 of our fans contribute at least $50 each, which comes out to $4.19 a month, 13 cents a day, that's $1 million that allows us to be able to continue to build, to add these shows and do the work that's required. So your support is needed. So please join our Bring the Funk fan club today. If you've not already joined, if you have given to us in the past, please renew your commitment, because it's important that we support Black-owned media, because Black-owned media matters.
But we begin tonight with the people who are really running the country right now.
Now, Trump is often wrong and misleading about a lot of things, but especially about history.
Donald Trump falling in line with President Elon Musk.
In the wake of the unsettling news that MSNBC has canceled Joy Ann Reid's primetime show, The Readout, Roland Martin and the Black Star Network would like to extend an invitation to all of the fans of Joy Ann Reid's MSNBC show to join us every night to watch Roland Martin Unfiltered, streaming on the Black Star Network for news, discussion of the issues that matter to you, and the latest updates on the twice impeached, criminally convicted felon-in-chief Donald Trump and his unprecedented assault on democracy, as well as co-president Elon Musk's takeover of the federal government. The Black Star Network stands with Joy Ann Reid and all folks who understand the power of Black voices in media. We must come together and never forget that information is power. Be sure to watch Roland Martin Unfiltered weeknights, 6 p.m. Eastern at youtube.com/Roland S. Martin, or download the Black Star Network app.